think I'm okay. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to go ahead and call to order the License and Variance Board. Today is Wednesday, July 27th. The time is 10 a.m. on the dot. My name is Penny Masher. I'm actually the Deputy City Administrator here for the City of Smyrna. To my left is Bo Jones, our Assistant Director of Public Works, and to his left is Richard Garland, our Director of Parks and Recreation. We have a few items on the agenda today. We're going to go ahead and start under business, item 2A. Ms. Crow, would you read the background for us, please?
All right, good morning. Caitlin Crow, Planner 1 Community Development. So the next 3 variances this morning are all going to be for the same property. So as is our custom, I will go ahead and read each of them together, but you will be voting on them separately. So this first variance is V22-050 to allow a second accessory structure. Then we have V22-051 to reduce the street side setback from 20 feet to 9 feet. And then the third is V22-052 to increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 19 feet. The subject parcel is a 0.35 acre lot located at the northwestern intersection of West Cooper Lake Drive and North Cooper Lake Road. When the owners purchased the property back in June 2011, both a pool and a treehouse were existing in the rear of the property, and there were no prior variances approved to allow for that second accessory structure. In 2019, the applicant removed the treehouse as it was deteriorating and was becoming a safety issue for the family. Then, in December of 2021, the applicant began rebuilding a new treehouse in a similar location on the property. Per Section 501 of the zoning ordinance, it does limit accessory structures to 1 per lot. And since there was an existing pool on the property, a second accessory structure variance was required to bring the treehouse up to the current codes. The applicant is proposing to retain the new 64 square foot treehouse in the rear corner of the yard, approximately 9 feet from the street side setback off of West Cooper Lake Road. However, the street side setback requirement for Village at North Cooper Lake is actually 20 feet, and thus the setback requirement or variance is required. The majority of the rear yard is currently taken up by the existing in-ground pool, and due to the location of the treehouse, the structure will also be encroaching onto the 20-foot sanitary sewer easement by roughly 11 feet. However, after a site visit in March 2022 to evaluate the sewer system, Public Works determined that the subject property was the only one that would be affected if there was any work to be done. So Public Works can support the variance, but the encroachment is at the applicant's own risk. The rear yard has a fairly steep grade change in the southwestern corner. So there is a 5-foot retaining wall, roughly, that surrounds that spot. The treehouse is in the middle of that area, and the base is at the bottom, but it is going to be able to be walked out to the pool area. Thus, there's that increase to 19 feet in height. So strict application of the relevant provisions would deny the applicant any ability to create any additional structures in the rear yard due to the existing pool. Community Development believes that the variances requested are reasonable and are the minimum variances needed to retain the treehouse structure. It has been properly posted, and after reviewing the application, staff does support all 3 variances and recommends approval with the following 2 conditions. The first is our standard condition. Approval is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And number 2, if any part of the treehouse falls within the 20-foot sanitary sewer access easement and work must occur within the area, The treehouse may be required to be moved at the owner's own expense. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Crow. Members of the board, do you guys have any questions for staff?
The structure is existing, correct?
It is currently existing from December 2019, so this is new.
Made to the structure with the issuance of this variance.
Sorry, repeat your question.
No change to the structure will be made with the issuance of this variance.
That is correct.
So the
It will
condition
stand
one
as
that
is.
we put on, the standard condition is already met. Because
Correct.
they're not changing it.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, any questions? Wonderful. Is the
Great, thank
applicant
you.
present? Great. If you guys would come on up to the podium and please read your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Samantha Banton. I'm from the Offices of Shaw Law PC on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Leslie Patrick.
Wonderful.
Hi, Alex Patrick.
Hi, wonderful. Thank you guys for being here today.
Yes.
So Ms. Crow has provided a very thorough summary, I believe, of what's occurring with the three variances. As she indicated, we will be taking each of them separately because we have to do that by rule. Is there anything you guys would like to include regarding these specific variances for us to discuss today?
I don't think there's anything additional that was not in the application or found in the memorandum. Just again to reiterate, when the owners first bought this property, the treehouse already existed. There weren't any issues until they decided to rebuild the treehouse because it was deteriorating at that point. There's a fence that's surrounding the treehouse. There's vegetation that's surrounding the treehouse. And also with regards to the height, it is built on a lower grade on the property, so it's not towering over the property. So the 4-foot variance that's being requested should not make a large difference. And to our knowledge, we don't know how this would adversely affect any neighbors. If they need any access to the easement, it would be solely upon them to, remove the structure, and they don't anticipate it. But if it is, it won't adversely affect neighbors. It will only be the owners.
Great. So
that's
that
what-
hits on one of our stipulations for consideration. That is the two, obviously the standard one, which as Mr. Garland has said, has already been met because the building's sort of been built. But the second one is that responsibility for sanitary sewer. So you guys are aware of the obligations for those stipulations, and are you guys comfortable with those?
I just have a question.
Okay.
So in terms of the sanitation or sewage, are you saying that if the city needs to get in and access it, at that point, we would have to move it?
That is correct, but it's either Ms. Crow or the Assistant Director of Public Works could probably answer those questions better than myself.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Either one of you guys want to answer that? Kaylin?
Yeah, it will actually have to be moved if we have to access that sewer pipe for repairs.
Okay.
So, in tune, we would actually get with you prior to allow you time to do that unless it was a dire emergency, so.
Okay. From the way the treehouse is positioned, it seems like it could be accessed without. I mean, is there consideration
I was going to say,
to?
someone from the city came out and was able to locate the manhole back in March, and it is not necessarily under the treehouse. So I guess we're just trying to think about what sort of
Well,
situation.
you have to take in the fact that the depths of the sewer, so you have to lay the ditch back 1 foot down, 2 feet back. So at that point, a machine would be required to come in if we had to dig down and do a pinpoint repair. So that's the reason we're saying it had to be removed, if in case we had to
Sure.
make repairs.
And I think, Ms. Crow, if you would read the stipulation again, I think it just basically reiterates that should any section of it be in an area where they need to take access, then it may need to be removed. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and read it again. So it says, if any part of the treehouse falls within the 20-foot sanitary sewer access easement and work must occur within the area, the treehouse may be required to be moved at the owner's expense.
Okay.
And you guys are kind of through the discussion and then the reiteration, is that is something you would agree to and you're comfortable with?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so I would invite anyone who is either here to speak in favor or against to make their way to a podium. Do we have anyone who'd like to speak on this item, item 2A? Okay. Oh, we do? Great. Please come ahead to the podium. come on up, and then just, if you would, please state your name for the record, and then also just know each speaker is given 5 minutes to speak, so you may speak. Thank you.
Sure, I will keep it under 5 minutes. So I am
Thank
Mac
you.
Heller. I live at 4320 North Cooper Lake Road, immediately next door to the Patricks. And I just want to reiterate that this treehouse is not a problem for us. It doesn't violate our privacy. We think it's great. We love that their children can play in it, and we support this variance.
Great. Thank you. Board members, I did forget to ask if you guys had any questions for the applicant. I apologize. Did you guys have any questions for them? Okay. Let the record reflect, we've had comment, and we'll now close the public hearing. I would like to reiterate, because I forgot to read the title for everyone, we are taking up variance request V22050 to allow a secondary accessory structure on lot 334, 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. The applicant is Leslie Patrick. I would now entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V22-050, allow secondary structure lot 334 at 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. Leslie Patrick, applicant.
Second.
Wonderful. We have a valid motion and a second. I would now call for the vote. Great. The vote is done. We have passed that unanimously at 3 votes. Okay, so we'll take the second item in this one, which is item 2B. This is variance request V22051, reduce the street side setback from 20 feet to 9 feet, lot 334, 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. Again, the applicant is Leslie Patrick. Do I need to call again for public hearing?
You'll need, yes,
Okay.
and you'll need to ask if I have anything, and then the applicant says all.
Oh, again?
Yes.
Okay. So I need to ask the applicants again?
Yes, so first, I do not have anything to add. And
Okay.
then you can ask if the
Okay,
applicants
I will,
have anything.
and we'll do this for the third one. Okay, the applicant is here. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add to further on this item? Okay. This, again, is a public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to speak in favor or against, if you would like to come, we'd be happy to hear your comments today. Okay, let the record reflect that we have no public comment on this item. With that said, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V22-051, reduce street side setback from 20 feet to 9 feet, lot 334, located at address 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. Leslie Patrick.
Second.
Great, we have a motion and a second. I would like to go ahead and call the vote. Great, this motion is passed. All right, our third item is item 2C. Again, this is variance request V22052 to increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 19 feet. Lot 334, 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. Applicant Leslie Patrick. Ms. Crow, do you have anything to add on this item?
Not at this time.
Wonderful. And now I have the process, so we'll all be good. Do the applicants are here? Do you guys have anything you'd like to add on this item? This, again, is a public hearing. If anyone is here would like to speak in favor or against the item, please feel free to come forward and state your name for the record. Okay, let the record reflect we have no public comment for this item. I would entertain a motion from the board, please.
Motion to approve variance request V22-052, increase the accessory structure height from 15 feet to 19 feet, lot 334 at 4324 North Cooper Lake Road. Leslie Patrick, applicant.
Second.
Wonderful. We have a valid motion on the floor and a second. I'd like to call for the vote. This item also passes 3-0. Thank you very much. Okay. We'll now move on to item 2D. This is a public hearing and a variance request for V22047 to allow a second kitchen at lot 311, 1626 Concord Meadows Drive. The applicant is Tai Nok Deep Vo. My understanding is this item may need to be tabled, and I'd need to entertain a motion for that if someone has one.
Motion to table variance request V22-047, allow a second kitchen, lot 311 at 1626 Concord Meadow Drive. Ms. Vo, applicant.
Thank you.
Second.
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second to table this item to the next meeting. With that, I'll take a vote or call vote. Great, this item's passed 3-0. We'll be moving that to the next meeting. Okay, our final item on the agenda today is another public hearing, which is item 2E, a variance request V22048 to allow a secondary accessory structure on lot 561, 1470 Roswell Street. The applicant is Scott Creel. Ms. Crow, would you please provide us the background?
All right, Caitlin Crow, Planner 1 Community Development. So just like the previous variances, there are 2 for this property, but we will discuss both of them together, and then again, you will vote on them individually. So this is variance V22-048 to allow a second accessory structure, and V22-049 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40%. So the subject parcel is a 0.4 acre lot located on the south side of Roswell Street. The subject property is currently occupied by a single-family home and a 625 square foot in-ground swimming pool in the rear of the property. The applicant is proposing to build an accompanying pool house accessory structure to use while accessing and enjoying the pool. The accessory structure ordinance allows one accessory structure per lot, and since there's already a pool existing on the property, a variance is required. The proposed 780 square foot structure will provide an accessible restroom and entertainment space while using that existing pool. Due to the home, driveway, and existing pool area, the impervious surface area will increase by an additional 4.3% with the addition of this new structure. The impervious surface coverage will be increased from 35.7%, which is already over the allowable 35, to 40%. Since the publication of the staff memo that was received when the agenda was published, the applicant has actually submitted a new revised mitigation plan that the assistant city engineer has looked over and approved. So the engineering department is supportive of this variance. The subject property is buffered from adjacent properties by an existing 5-foot wooden privacy fence. Due to that existing fence and the location in the rear of the yard, community development believes the proposal will not adversely impact any adjacent properties. Community development does believe that these are the minimum variances needed to construct any additional structure due, again, to that existing pool in the rear. Similar variances have been approved throughout the city when an appropriate mitigation plan is in place. It has been properly posted, and after reviewing the variance application, staff does support the requests and recommends approval with the following 2 conditions. The first, again, is our standard condition. Approval of the variance is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. Number 2, the applicant shall submit a water quality plan subject to approval by the city engineer prior to permitting. I do want to reiterate that since the memo was published, this has been accomplished and will be supplied at the permitting process. And I can answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Ms. Crow. Members of the board, do you guys have any questions for staff? Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is the applicant present? Great, if you guys would please make your way to your podium, and then when you're there, please read your name for the record.
My name is Scott Creel. I was the applicant that submitted.
Good morning.
I'm Justine Zarch. I'm the homeowner. Morning.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for being here today. Ms. Crow has read a summary of the variances we're going to look at today. As she mentioned, we will be taking them separately. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add to information for the board that we should look at?
A quick note was on the stormwater quality. We were able to reduce that percentage from 40 down to 31%, treating additional 1,500 square foot of impervious surface.
Okay.
So we did get below the 35.
5. Wonderful. Board members, do you guys have any questions for the applicant?
You just answered my question, Mr. Creel.
No problem.
There you go. Done. This is a public hearing. If there is anyone here who'd like to speak either in favor or against this item, if you would, please come to the podium. We'd be happy to hear your comments. Let the record reflect that we have no one here to provide public comment on this item. With that, I will entertain a motion for item 2E.
Motion to approve variance request V22-048 to allow secondary structure, lot 561, located at 1470 Roswell Street, Scott Creel.
Second.
With the motion and the second, on this item, I would call for the vote. This item passes unanimously. Okay, our next item, again, is item 2F. This is a variance request to increase variance V22-049 to increase the maximum, I cannot read today, my apologies. Okay, let me start over. This is a variance request, V22-049, increasing the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40%, lot 561, 1470 Roswell Street. Ms. Crow, do we need to amend that for the changes that are reflected, or is that still accurate?
No, yes, it's still accurate. So the mitigation plan is allowing it to go under, but the impervious surface itself is still increasing.
Okay, sorry, my apologies. So we are looking at that item again. Ms. Crow, do you have anything else to add to this item?
Not at this time.
Applicants, do you guys have anything you'd like to add on this section?
No, ma'am.
Great. Board members, do you guys have any questions for anyone, either staff or the applicant?
No questions.
Great, then I'll entertain a motion on item 2F.
Motion to approve variance request V22-049, increase maximum impervious surface area from 35 to 40%, lot 561 at 1470 Roswell Street. Scott Creel, applicant.
Second.
I'm a little out of order here, but this is a public hearing. I'd like to go back. Do we need to retake the vote? Okay, my apologies. I would like you guys to know this is my first meeting in charge, so I'll be much better if you guys come back. Okay,
This is
so.
my first variance for the city of
Well,
Smyrna.
there you see, we're on the same page. It's wonderful. Okay,
Absolutely.
all right, so this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak in favor or against, if you would please come to the podium this time, we'd be glad to hear comments. Let the record reflect that there is no one here to speak in public comment. And we do now need to call for the vote. And this item passes unanimously. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
I'll take care.
All right, let's see what else I can mess up. Okay, our final agenda item today is the approval of the minutes. Item 3, that is MIN 2022-56, approval of the July 13th, 2022 License and Variance Board meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a motion to do something? Second?
Second.
I'm gonna get fired after this. Okay, seeing we have a valid first and a motion and a second, can I please call the vote? Motion is passed unanimously. With that, unless there's anything else to be brought before the board, I'll call for adjournment at 10:23.